Welcome back. We are here to play Heaven is Here If You Want It by Ray Najati, part two of our two shot. We're going to be reintroducing our characters. Just it's been a week, so just to reintroduce our characters and then like dive into another moment. Okay, so I am Mads, they them pronouns, and I'm playing Lucifyre, who had um, switched into he, him. Um, I'm the fallen angel, and basically, I have a series of geometric tattoos, makeup applied to turn my face into a weapon, mismatched eyes that no longer dilate properly, and my gender is flickering candlelight, shifting colors, and had also changed into something hungry um, from our shared meal. I still have mastered music that has evoked unspeakable emotion. I struggle with an evolving performance that feeds on heartbreak, and I can no longer connect to art that rages rebellion and reveals the prison that holds us all. And my persona is an unforgiving habit that guarantees me success, but my truth is actually the emptiest version of me. So that is the devil.
I am playing Lycaenid. Lycaenid is the dancer, and in the last session, he changed his pronouns to he, him. Lycaenid wears soothing colors in an attempt to disconnect them from the world, him from the world. Tattoos of a lyric from a song that he doesn't recognize, and hair as wild and free as I want it to be, which is very, honestly, um, his gender is a dramatic beat and flourish and something joyful that hides a frenzied truth. And I did things wrong last time with the genders because I changed my look instead of my gender. But I feel I'm the dancer. I dance between these things, looks and gender. That is what's the difference anyway. My art, I have mastered the dance that requires many bodies. I'm struggling with free-form poetry created in the moment, and I am no longer connected to art that's young and unformed. My song is a dream that demands my all, and my dance is a prison of my own making.
My name is Donogh. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Saoirse the Oracle, um, a god domesticated and condemned to flashes of brutal prophecy. Um, their look includes a tattoo of words from a dead language that someone else knows, a carefully crafted smile to hide my disgust and malice, hands weathered by housework, and newly a wink and a smile. Well, a secret. Go with the crafted smile. Um, their gender is a forbidden prayer whispered before a kiss, warm blood through their fingers, and a map marked and torn. Um, they have mastered paintings that are both worship and blasphemy, struggle with art that is slightly old fashioned and maybe out of touch, and no longer connect to plays that seek to rebuild the human condition. Their torture is that those I love will never love me in return, and their fate is those I inspire will reach greater heights than me.
And unfortunately, Shane, the Kings player, is unable to join us today, but hopefully they feel better soon, and we will continue play without them. But yeah, so those are our characters, and we will play um, the full moon ritual as our next moment. Just as a reminder, we have specific moves in Heaven is Here. So we have human moves where we have the token currency of gaining a token whenever we enact these moves. Um, Playbook moves, which we can do whenever we want if we're kind of stuck for something to do. Um, and we can do those at any time. And then to spend the tokens that we earn through our human moves, we can spend them on art moves, make a spectacle, make big swings, and yeah, spend two of those tokens to create something immense, wonderful, or just asks some very important questions. So, and then each moment that we enact, that's each scene, has its own moves as well. And then also, there's also lures to draw each character in, as well as moments that have their own lures. And anyone that enacts these things can gain tokens from them. So, another way of earning the tokens for currency. Okay, so just as a reminder, and full moon ritual. The moon calls, and we answer. She hangs in the sky, about to give birth, about to die. It is during this ritual that who we are shimmers and shivers, shudders and shakes. It is here that our art reaches eclipse. Begin the full moon ritual if you want to further entwine magic with your art, if you are tempted to reveal truth or invite intimate lunacy. And the lure for the full moon ritual is when someone looks to the moon, fleeting or no, and describes the face they see, they gain a token. All right, so. Saoirse, describe where the ritual takes place.
Hmm. I think a rooftop of an abandoned building,
Mhm.
maybe maybe a building, a very tall building that was never completed. You know, the developer went bankrupt or something. So abandoned in kind of every sense of the word, never even finished.
Go ahead and pick that. And then Lycaenid, go ahead and pick out the ritual's tools. We each choose one. Yep. And Saoirse also pick out a tool for the ritual.
I think it's carpets we stole from the museum. I like the idea of us going and like these carpets, they shouldn't be at the museum. We should use them for a ritual to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Lucifyre probably brings a deck of incomplete tarot cards damaged by water and beer.
Ooh, in what way are they incomplete? What's missing? Is the king missing? Or the emperor?
Yeah, I think all of, oh man, because Odin isn't able to join us for whatever reason. I think, yeah, I think the kings are missing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And though it might spoil our look, I think open eyes drawn on our faces. Maybe Saoirse has done this to us all with
Ooh,
this grimy ash that comes from God knows where.
blue. Okay. For the art.
For the art. And then whomever wants to pick out the last tool for the ritual.
I think the damage my pride causes is always fun, right? I don't know what that means, but we'll figure that out, right? In game, in playing.
And is it specifically Lycaenid's pride?
I don't even know. It says my pride, so maybe it's the pride that the damage that we all bring a reminder of the damage our pride caused to someone.
Ooh.
Like everyone has to bring something to give to the moon.
Oh wow. Okay. Offering to
No,
the moon. Okay, I like that idea. Offering to the moon.
Or baggage is carry on only, though, right?
Oh God. Oh man, this would be fun to explain, but I love to play to find out. Okay, so those are the. That's where it is. as the ritual's tools. Although, like those carpets, man. I mean, like they better be tiny ass carpets, because otherwise Lucifyre's bitching and complaining.
I think they're not that tiny ass, so Lucifyre can bitch and complain what she wants. He wants, sorry.
Yeah, because like he is, and like he's pretty much like hefting one of them across his shoulders as he tries to wrestle with it, going up the stairs, and just. I used to be great. I used to be glorious, and you're having me drag these ugh mundane pieces of crap up the stairs.
They are not mundane pieces of crap. These are expressions of a culture's love for the moon, Lucifyre. That is what they are. And that is what we need to sacrifice to the moon. Or would you rather sacrifice a handkerchief? But what do you think what that would do?
I mean, I could just as easily embroider some kind of symbol on a handkerchief, and it would be easier to bring up the stairs.
Well, then you should have done that. I got these from the museum, and trust me, it wasn't that easy to carry. I had to carry all of them out.
Well,
So,
just be reassured that whatever I do, sacrifice in the ritual, it will be something worthy.
I hope so.
I think while the two of you, do I say bicker? I think
Yeah,
bicker.
yeah, that's
Um,
that's accurate, I
Saoirse
think.
is like yomping up the stairs around and around. Like, this is not the first time she's carried a heavy, carpet up or down the tower
At least there's no body inside of it this time, right?
this time. Yeah.
This time. I mean, I think like Lucifyre actually laughs at that. If you say that out loud, that
Yeah,
Lycaenid, it's like
sure.
Lucifyre will laugh. Well, I mean, but the blood would still be worthy, of course. Even if there was.
Yeah,
So
well, we can make our own blood.
yeah, I guess it's still valuable.
Mhm.
And I think as we set up all of the things onto the carpets, like we put the carpet, we lay the carpets out to create this platform, and like the full moon is like shining down on us. Lucifyre will spread out the tarot cards, and you can see how damaged they are. I mean, like you have the some of the pictures like kind of coming up away from the card itself, because they're so water damaged, they're so like soaked from the beer and everything, that you can still smell the beer smell coming off of it, and the pictures are like kind of like coming off of the card stock itself because they're so soaked through. But Lucifer is actually leaning over the cards and actually has a look of pain across their face.
What do they tell you?
There's no kings. I wish Odin was here.
They've abandoned us before. They'll come back.
No, he won't. And that rings with prophecy. Or maybe an omen, I'm not sure.
Um, First time he did this, and I remember it destroyed me a little. I remember I tried going back to a 9 to 5 life and just be a normal person, abandon all of this. But he didn't stay away, and I didn't. I came back to myself. And there was a time when I was like, no, art's too painful. I'll do whatever, right? And I'm describing who I used to be.
And basically, Lucifyre is just kind of like still staring at the cards and will do something where they make some hand passes across the cards, and where you see the colors from the cards themselves, like, like come away from the cardstock because of the water damage. It's like those colors lift and actually like form like some kind of weird iridescence in the moonlight, and then start to come and radiate around Lucifyre, and then actually come onto their clothing and onto their skin even, and shift and move as he expresses his gender. But in this, he asks, as the full moon shines down, what secret does the moon reveal about me? And he asks this of either of you who is close enough to listen. What secret does the moon reveal about me?
I think the secret that is revealed is why you abandoned or are no longer connected to what's the word? Art that rages rebellion and reveals the presence that hold us, because that you abandoned that at one point. I think it was your thing for quite a while, but at some point you were like, no, I can't do this anymore. So what is that secret?
Do you think the moon helps it show you, or do you think that the moon will, like, kind of get Lucifyre to be more open, more vulnerable, and tell you? Which do you think
Might
is more?
might reveal something in the shadow the moon casts you.
Okay,
Like maybe it's your past self
got it.
that
Okay,
is revealed here, and that gives
yeah,
us a clue.
yeah. I think when you look at Lucifyre and like the colors have shifted, the moon shines down, and you just see in the shadows. Actually, like, yeah, the moon casts down, and the shadow that is like behind Lucifyre, that actually is not connected to him, you see that that shadow is, yeah, that shadow is of someone who has these great wings
Um,
and is like holding a weapon in one hand and like some kind of shining chains in another. So the darkness has taken on some kind of color and 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 iridescence. So, you can see that the weapon has like cut through these chains, and the shadow is moving independently of Lucifyre just crouching there. And it's like this shadow is just kind of raging and like, looking as if it's like, battling something, and then just cutting at these chains and fighting against, all comers and everything, and then looking like as if it is casting a light, an iridescent light on things, trying to give like more of a clear picture. Like the shadow itself is just giving off some kind of yeah, like its own light to try to show what's truth, but it's dim. It's dim now.
Mm.
And then it kind of fades away
Mm. Mm.
in like those moments. And that's the
Um,
secret that's revealed.
yeah, I
Yes.
wonder, can I ask a question
Yeah, go ahead.
building on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think that's kind of interesting. I have a question. How do you embody my fate? Which is that those I inspire will reach greater heights than me. Is this Lucifer kind of passing on a torch of rebellion or something like that? I don't know.
Greater heights than you.
Or is Lucifer the one reaching those greater heights?
Well, I mean, it all depends. I mean, like, are you talking about the present or the future? Because, I mean, you know, Lucifyre does have that unforgiving habit that guarantees his success, which is basically always working. I mean, like, you can hear him singing now. I mean, like, he's humming under his breath as if he's coming up with some other song and just continually thinking and working. And it's something where I think he casts a gaze at you and says, like, he senses something that you're doing and says, it will always be greater, as if answering an unspoken question. Because I might know what love is, but you don't. And maybe that makes me greater than you.
And I think that carefully crafted smile to hide disgust and malice is
Mhm.
right there. I'm sure Lucifer sees through it.
Do you think that this is me hurting you with my truth?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I was like, I'm thinking it's like, I mean, you know, he's got voice.
Um, yeah. And I think Saoirse takes out, I don't know, sorry, let me just check. Or lines and veils. Yeah, it takes out something like unprepared. It's not like a knife, but it's like a key or something. And looks up at the moon, and you like just see in this shadow from behind her, like, you know, stab her eye and shout
Mhm.
out in this strange language of sacrifice. Maybe something, maybe it's the verbal expression of the dead language on their tattoo, you know, and maybe they are saying it without really understanding what it is, but you recognize it. Sorry, so that is sacrifice something precious to the moon.
Mhm. I think while you were doing that, and you were singing Lucifer, right? And I think that Lycaenid starts to first like move himself like, and then they start to dance because how can you not, right? Um, and I think while they dance, they kind of catch some of those colors that have come off from your cards, but they catch only the red ones because for now that is what they're interested in. And they will turn, um, yeah, I think they will turn more red with each twist, with each twirl, a little more red shows up, and until in the moonlight they show up bloody, like they're bloody and red. And what you can also see behind them are these massive butterfly wings that shine in this red, silvery light with this iridescence from the moonlight. And as you look at the moon, you can almost see those wings reflected on the moon itself.
And I think this is where the blood that has come from your stab, Saoirse, I think Lucifyre smells it, like he literally sniffs as he sings, and then will like reach for it, and I think like will like draw some of that blood to him, and then like weave it in as Lycaenid dances, and then create this magic from the moonlight streaming down, and then will I think there's this whisper of the past, that past image of the raging angel winged figure that's got the weapon and such. But this is suddenly eclipsed by Lucifyre taking the blood and weaving it into this picture of music moving in the air and creating this painting and using it to dance around Lycaenid as if there is a partner, but not dancing necessarily with them, with him, but also around him, and creating this kind of kaleidoscope of movement as well as color, adding more to the red, adding more to the moonlight, and then just creating this, like, again, just this grand picture of emotion. Like, what is everybody feeling that Lucifyre is drawing into this picture that's getting more and more intense as he's weaving it in with his song? So he is creating art that eclipses that raging rebellion and weaving and evoking some unspeakable emotion as I use an art move from the
Mm.
full moon ritual.
Mm. And at some point, I think Lycaenid turns to you in the middle of the dance, looks at you, and says, "Why won't you dance with me? With me?" Just also, from
If you say that, I mean, like,
yes.
he doesn't stop. If he doesn't stop singing, he doesn't stop weaving the magic. He'll just move. He'll move with you in a mirror. It's almost kind of like a little bit of like Phantom of the Opera kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
he just
Mm-hmm.
kind of moves with you. But like, just like the sounds just get more resonant, and the song just gets like more vibrant and um, operatic, I guess, I suppose. Um, just as he tries to match movement for movement. What is Saoirse doing? I mean, like, what kind of emotion is Lucifyre drawing upon as he's doing this?
Yeah, I think this kind of stifled pride and rebellion that they have in their heart, mostly maybe against Odin, but also everything else, is brought to a crescendo. And yeah, I think like when you have that moment where you're like taking the blood from them, that is given. Like I think they reach out with their hand and like squeeze the too much blood from their fingers into your palm.
Mhm.
Um,
I think Lucifyre will reach for you then. I mean, like, if that's what you're doing, then, like, he'll grab at your hand and then, like, draw you into this to this dance. So if you
Yeah.
accept it, then like, he'll keep holding on to you and then bring you into this full it's kind of like that. Oh god, what is that etching? It's like it's the etching of like the three witches, like where they're kind of like holding up their hands together, like as like in that still etching. And it's like it almost looks like that, as Lucifyre with their other hand will also clasp Lycaenid's hand, and then
Mm.
like it looks like that three prong uh, ritual setup.
Nice.
I think in the height of that frenzy, Saoirse kind of transforms into this, the wording is a being of magic and horror for a moment.
Ooh.
And I
Mm.
think it's like antlers and tusks and kind of
Ooh.
a barbed coat and cloven hooves and,
Nice.
kind of shining in this moonlight, in this bloody moonlight.
Cool.
And but I guess it will abate maybe when maybe a cloud passes in front of the moon and they're
Mm.
kind of back to themselves. But I'm not sure. Is this something you've seen before, or something that kind of gets you at a visceral level, or what?
Oh yeah, I think. Hold on. It's like because I feel like that's a moment that that Lucifyre wants to capture because it almost fills him with glee. I'm trying to think of how to parlay this because I mean I want to use his art move, create an undeniable truth, and wield it
Mm.
because I think he has seen this form of yours before, and he thinks it beautiful. I think maybe that is the undeniable truth. Hold on, let me see. How does this work? The monstrous. I think the truth that I'm gonna type in here is the most monstrous version of you is the most beautiful one. And I think this is what he wields as he takes that. You see this admiring, beatific look on his face as he sees this of you. And you'll see the shadows grow like behind and around him as he too grows these antlers to match yours. And that's how he wields it. And perhaps he also grows hooves as well. So, yeah, take that.
How do we think Lycaenid reacts to this?
Yeah.
Um, Stumbling probably for a bit because that is not something he can actually do. But I think they will resist this kind of change for a moment, and then they will kind of lose control and create art from this. Because what will happen is they won't grow antlers, but the butterfly wings will start to reflect these antlers. Like the pattern on these wings grows more antler-like. The tails of these large wings kind of sort of resemble hoofs. So it's still a butterfly, but it has these deer-like components. And then Lycaenid starts to lift off because the wings start beating um, in the moonlight. And these antler-like markings start glowing in the same light and almost pulsing in the light of in the rhythm of the music that like Lucifyre makes, and they just go up to the moon, and even from the city you can see that there's something there, some light, something that reminds you of, that makes people shiver and think of ancient trees and forests and the majestic beasts that are with it.
I think the climax of Lucifyre's song, upon seeing you both in your form, is to, I mean, it's partly a, I don't know if you've ever heard it in songs, but you know, like how, like in certain songs, it's like they kind of like, you know, like half scream, half yell, but like in musical form. I can't even describe like how that sounds, but I mean like that's basically what he does, and he's inviting you both to hurt him, like in the ways that you know how. In the current forms that you're in,
Mhm.
he's inviting you to, like, you know, because he's just seeing this and overwhelmed by your beauty in your current forms, that he wants you to hurt him. How do you do that?
I mean, I think um, I think I'll lower my head to yours and whisper a forbidden prayer into your ear, which is, I don't know, something like your true name or a name
Ooh.
you had before I knew you.
Oh, wow. And that brings tears to his eyes. He's like, you see him close his eyes and cry. I mean, not full on sobs, but he's just like, you see the tears start to fall. What about Lycaenid? What does Lycaenid
I
do?
I think I've seen it as kind of, you remember that older form of you that you showed at the beginning, that secret.
Hmm.
I think they start to move to the music and the beat of that older form, that more rebellious form, like adding that to the dance, and like hearing and sharing, and then sharing that music of who you used to be and how glorious you were. And he doesn't say it that you are lesser now, but it, it might feel like that.
So,
Um, yeah, and I think maybe as this reverie or controlled madness of this ritual fades, when when this new form of Saoirse's fades, I think it's replaced by this, or hidden by this illusion, so that if you are curious or rebellious or anything like that, you will see their true form. So that change Saoirse's gender, an illusion weak but defiant,
hmm,
and change to she, her.
okay. I think at the end, at the close of our frenzy and our ritual, I guess, I think maybe perhaps the ending, at least for Lucifyre's song, is like, you know, some ending harmony in their voice where somehow present Lucifyre and past Lucifyre like turns into like a harmony that ends with three chords and then three claps. And then at the very end of it, I think Lucifer will look to the moon and say, I have given it my all. I don't know how much more I could give besides the past and present, because the future's still to be writ. So I've looked to the moon as well as sacrificed. Ugh. So, do we think that's we have ended the ritual?
Yeah, I think, though, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
When the ritual ends and Lycaenid is still flying, but the wings start to lose cohesion. But he doesn't want it to end. He doesn't want to come down to the ground. So he stays while these wings are kind of becoming more translucent. The moonlight shines through them. They scatter. They lose all cohesion. And then Lycaenid, I think he falls to the ground. And I think while it happens, they will lose something. Some part of them will go with those wings to the moon. And when they fall, I think I can. Yeah, I think they will also change their gender, and it will be yeah. And in this case, it will be clumsy dance steps because it's like for at least for a bit that has left them, and I go with them now. Um, has left them that grace because they are earthbound again, and they don't know how to be that for a bit.
Yeah. Big come down after such an intense ritual for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Is Saoirse's end to the ritual the change, the the expression, or something else?
Yeah, I think I think it's really just that illusion covering up her real identity now.
Okay.
I think otherwise unchanged, but yeah, something has changed, right?
Okay.
Um, that eye is still gone or mangled, right? That's a sacrifice. So that's there.
Okay. When the ritual ends, we each choose one of the things. Add one of the following to your look, change your gender to one of the following, or choose or describe an art form, or gain the lore. Okay? So, add one of the following to your look: eyes full of moonlight, dead stars in my palms, a tarot card tattoo, evidence of a ritual on my body, something that shows how much the moon loves me. Or change your gender to one of the following: a dance under the moon, a river warm and deep, concrete and graffiti, a blade that catches the sky, something fleeting. Choose or describe an art form that you can only create in the light of the moon. Or gain the lure. When someone describes how I am like the moon, fleeting or no, they gain a token. So we could each choose one of those things. Hmm.
I mean, I think I am gonna choose um, the art form that I can only create in the light of the moon. Maybe this is the one that I have lost my connection to. Maybe this is a fresh connection with players that seek to rebuild the human condition.
Hmm. I think add one of the following to your look. So I think I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add. Oops. Hello. Lost it. Evidence of a ritual on my body. Hold on. So I'm gonna add that to here. Evidence of ritual. What is that evidence? Saoirse, what is the evidence of the ritual on my body?
I think this strange moonlight and blood, which gave us some hint as to your kind of past form and regrets and secrets and everything, is still there, but I think it's like a tattoo that moves when you're not looking.
Ooh. Is it blood red and silver?
Yeah, I think it's striking.
And I'm not. I think for Lycaenid, it's like the after image of those wings that you can almost intuit when they're it's very faint in the sunlight or electric light, but you can see them far more closely when the moon is shining. Then you can again see those wings. They can't use them to fly, but I think that there is this longing in their face when they look up at the sky, like they want to do that again. They want to feel it.
Mm. But I mean, can they do that at any time or only when?
Only when the moon is shining. Then it's then when they can fly, and that might be creating the art form thing, right?
Okay,
That they can do an art that you can't do without the moonlight.
got it. Okay. I was wondering about that because I mean, like, because that's
Yeah.
that's kind of like the
Mhm.
the limitation that's like of yearning too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And that brings us to the close to the hour. So let's go ahead and take 15 minutes if that's okay. And then when we come back, then we'll do one of the other ones. So we could do either, and we'll find out what that is. So see you in 15.
Yep. See that?
Okay. Okay. So next moment is a child's game. There is a child in me that I killed long ago, but their small and warm hands never let go of my heart. It is during this game that who we are comes undone, and the children we once were yawn and come awake. It is here that our art finds joy. Begin the game if you want to look at your art through the eyes of the child you once were. So, the lure for this particular moment is when someone plays like they mean to win, fleeting or no. Ah, somebody's blanking out. What's going on? Somebody's blanking
I
out the.
don't know. Oh no, I think it's me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just put something on the space bar.
Okay. It's
I'm,
freaking me out. It's like things are
I'm
disappearing.
sorry if it was freaking me out until I noticed it was me. I didn't notice that I was doing that. I
No problem.
apologize.
Okay. So the
But
All
lure
it's
advanced
is.
character
like
keepers from now on are going to have protected cells to avoid the carnage.
no, I feel like we are removing all the unnecessary trim and stuff and going back to being a child. Yeah, without
Playing a game with it.
without drop down thingies. Sorry.
It's okay. When someone plays like they mean to win, fleeting or no, they gain a token. And lure is the lure for this one. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, uh, uh, they've seen it. Describe where the game takes place.
Yeah, well, give me a second. I was looking at something else. Describe where the game takes place. Ooh, it's a game. Uh, Under the stars in the dark. In a coffee shop. The clinic. Ooh. Ooh. I think in an abandoned cinema while an old film plays. And I think that is actually it's a children's movie. I think
Ooh.
something cartoony with a lot of squeaky little not anime, but animated animals dancing, and it's got little Disney vibes, but it's maybe not Disney. It's a knockoff.
We have found the knockoffs that Disney tried to hide.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean that's
mean,
why
I
the
would have said sued into oblivion, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that could be very well true. Absolutely.
I mean, Disney does not have a copyright on all the fairy tales ever,
Nope.
but they could
well, it tries.
just they
We're
yeah,
gonna
but
try.
they could just like like make suggestions to cinemas, like, you really want to show this thing? Do you also want to not show our things?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you get to not show our things, which are super successful. Now we know why the cinema is abandoned because of capitalism
Oh,
and Disney.
wow. Yeah. All right. So go ahead and each pick something to describe the game. I'm picking the third one down just so you guys know where I am.
Truth and lies.
Let's see.
I wonder if I want a game we haven't played since one of us died. That seems
Ooh.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
begs the question, who died?
Hmm.
Hope it wasn't Odin. I don't know, right?
Don't know.
Are we killing Odin off screen? Is that what's happening?
Oh
I
my
mean, we
gosh.
could
Well, I
also
mean, like, well,
define.
time has passed. I mean, like, time definitely has passed. It's not like this is the next day after
No.
after the full moon ritual. So,
No.
you know, this could be any time actually.
And it could be someone else we lost.
Right. Exactly.
Unless it's one of us.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
one of us could have died, and like,
yeah.
we're back in a different form because God knows.
Nice. I like that.
God's knows. All right.
I mean,
Lycaenid, I'm gonna wait until after you pick because
I
oh,
have picked.
Oh, so then
That was
Saoirse.
the
I'm
game.
next. I am teetering between a game of truth and lies and a dagger and hand outstretched.
That's up to you.
Um, I go with truth and lies. Always fun.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, well, if you're gonna do that, then I have to go with Confessions and Secrets. And if you picked the fourth the last time, then who didn't pick the fourth the last time gets to pick the fourth now.
It was me who picked the fourth last time. I don't
Okay.
know the first game we played who picked the fourth. No, we were
There was
four
four of
people
us.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Mads, do you want to pick it?
sure. Let's see. Um, do, 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 do. Should we make it complicated by saying that we promise never to play it again, but for whatever reason we are?
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to open up with
Mm-hmm.
why we're playing this again.
Or and why we promised not to do it, to
Yeah,
do that.
sure, absolutely. All right, so again, we're this is taking place in an abandoned cinema while we're watching Squeaky with their antics
Mm-hmm.
as it plays, animated on the screen, and I think some of the actually let's do a paint the scene on this just because it's like it's interesting because it's been abandoned for so long. I think a lot of the chairs have been cleared out, but some of them still remain, and the ones that have remained are the sturdiest of the lot. And instead of like plush velvet, I think they've been covered over in this tough leather, pebbled leather, um,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of look like they're still facing the screen, but they're in a wider semicircle, and everything else, all the other chairs have been cleared out. So it's almost like this has been created for a more private audience in a bigger room. So the semicircle of chairs that are left is maybe for, like, I don't know, like a private audience of 10, but they're spread out. So maybe like in batches of like 2 and 3, and then just kind of like spread out in the further in the back of the room itself, where we have all this floor space and then like kind of like a weird stage area in front of the silver screen itself that we're watching. What else is in here?
I mean, I think there's still, it still feels like a cinema. Like there's still like an overturned popcorn box having like this disgorged half of its contents just left there. Um, there's still like ticket stubs, faded. Maybe with films we remember. Um, yeah, if the private audience is exclusive in one way, it's still kind of a normal cinema audience in another way.
Oh, I think someone that was after the cinema was abandoned, probably, or at the time when the new chairs were put in, has put up a curtain in front of the screen. It's a little eaten, and it smells a little musty, but it's this dark, rich, velvety red that looks almost, if the lights are turned down, it looks almost like blood falls next to the screen, which odd vibe right now because the squeaky thing does not gets a kind of an ominous vibe just from these curtains hanging. And there's, I think some of them are a little tattered, but yeah.
I forgot to ask, is the squeaky animated film, is it colored or is it in black and white?
Oh, I think it's like this high saturation color, right? Like
Hmm.
it really pops. Like somebody thought this needs more color now. This is too pale. The reds
It's
are
a
really,
60s
yeah,
cinemascope. Oh, the
yes,
reds
Oh,
are the
yes,
reddest reds you've ever
yes,
seen.
yeah, exactly,
okay.
exactly.
All right. Fair. I think the first thing that happens when we come into this place, knowing what we're gonna do, or maybe not knowing, I think Lucifyre, like, throws a little bit of a hissy fit and just says, I don't know what we're doing here. And then like we'll kick at like some piece of detritus and then like kick it like all the way so it goes like onto like plops onto the stage from the double doors where we come in. It's like I don't I don't want to be here. Like what? Why the hell are we like gonna be playing this game that we said we weren't ever gonna do again?
I don't do we do anything to connect with the world, with our past, with the future, because they're both kind of the same. To connect with whoever died. And is that Odin or is that one of us? Or
I mean, like, do we talk about it? Because I mean, like, this is the kind of thing that
yeah,
we probably
okay,
should, which is why Lucifyre's so goddamn
yeah,
pissed. Um,
to connect with them, you know,
yeah,
since
but
they can
but
be
would
here.
we should be
Mm,
like out of
we should
character.
have.
We should be figuring out which one
Yeah,
of us it is.
yeah.
Is it Saoirse? Is it Lycaenid? Or is it actually Lucifyre? And like Lucifyre doesn't want to acknowledge the fact. Which one is it?
Oh,
I mean, does that make sense if Lucifer is dragging his heels on this? Because if he plays the game, it means he kind of accepts that.
yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right.
It makes
I
sense.
dig it.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
If it's okay with you, Lance, of
Oh
course.
yeah. No, no, no. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's not what Lycaenid says. Well, I think we just need to connect with each other. I feel like you've been distant lately, Lucifer, and I think you should figure out why that is.
And I think Saoirse reaches a hand out to you I don't know if you take it. Maybe it's like the reverse of the coin during the moon ritual, right? Like maybe you solemnly take it, or maybe you don't take it at all.
And I think he will kind of like, stomp his foot and just kind of like, fold his arms in front of him and just say, like, new rule, no touching until I say so.
Um, Drop my hand and say, okay, but, and this is with the power of prophecy, you will feel better once you've played. Seems like a very low stake declaring someone's immediate future, but I'll take it.
Okay.
Come on, I'll even let you win, Lucifyre, for once.
And actually, actually, how do I, how do I cheat? How do I cheat at the game? That's what he asks.
Mm.
Very, very sullen, like, I'm a little kid and I'm gonna
Um,
kick my feet out kind of
mhm.
way.
I mean, you don't have to cheat.
You can lie and not get caught.
Yeah, but that is, I said that's the game, right?
Yeah, that's just winning.
Yeah,
So cheating is by lying, but lying is playing the game.
yeah.
And like he just like kind of thinks about it,
Mm.
and it's just like you just like see this weird like weird a fulsome pout on his face, and it's like he just looks younger for some reason. Like you just can't pinpoint why. And then I think this is where he declares, "Then I say that Lycaenid has loved Saoirse for decades and hasn't said." And he has a smug look on his face.
And I mean, I think I scowl at Lucifyre in the way that maybe plays into his acting out. But when I look over at Lycaenid, I give them a wink. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
you can tell what a wink is when you only have one eye, but
yeah. I mean, you have one eye and then you can wink with the other one, I guess.
Do you wear a
Uh,
patch or do you just have like a scar?
no, it's kind of brutal and
um,
Okay.
visible.
Okay.
I think glycine is. I think the rules would require them to either deny or say the truth, and I think they will. It will be. Let me see here. Run away from someone or something important. Yep, I think that's what they'll do. They say, "Oh, well, don't we all love each other and don't always talk about it? I mean, come on, we're like this is we're just like a family kind of thing, right? Where we all love each other, uh, and yeah. So I think reflecting, and then I say, okay, my turn, I guess. Um, Let me just check something here. Yeah. And then say, well, um, Sasha has seen something in the future about you, Lucifer, and has not shared it with you.
And he just looks shocked and starts to get angry. And I think this is where he starts to chant. And the chanting, I think, will call upon something in you, Saoirse, to call upon your more monstrous self inside. Because, he's looking directly at you with his gaze and singing, chanting this thing that's calling upon your more visceral, monstrous self. And ask in the song, how does my art force the truth to center?
So I think I'll turn around towards you and away from the screen. And I think the screen behind, right, where the cartoon is playing,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly kind of starts to shift into like a more sepia, like everything just kind of fades.
Mm-hmm.
And this uh, this elk creature wanders onto screen, and the I don't know, the little mouse or whatever it is. I don't know
We
what
didn't really establish what Squeaky was, but
yeah,
okay.
I don't know. The little mouse
Right, right.
um uh runs and runs and runs and then stops panting, and the elk thing just lumbers until it catches him. And I look at Lucifer and say, if I tell you the secret, it will destroy you. And I think, your eye is caught by what's on screen, and it's kind of, I think it's almost like there's this censored, you know, a banner appears around it, so it's still kind of comical, but like when the elk thing looks up, it's like bloody teeth, right? In, I think that's the thing that's in that magical cinemascope red now.
Oh, wow. um, I would like you to describe. I think I'm supposed to do it, but I would like you to describe it given this particular, setup. Describe a new persona I am forced to wear. I know this is not like, within the move itself, but because I'm asking you to describe it, I want you to gain a token.
Okay. I'm just thinking, I mean, I think, is this like the first time we've seen Lucifyre be actually afraid?
Yeah,
And maybe not just afraid of Saoirse, but afraid of
of the
like
truth.
what's outside.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know?
like it's basically like, like if you're gonna force them to face the truth, then like they're gonna throw up a persona, like, for it. But this is a persona that you're forcing him to wear.
Yeah. And
So
is this like a I don't even care kind of thing? Like
yeah, yeah,
maybe
it
like
it's got to
a
be. It's because it's gonna be like his defense mechanism. But it's like you're, it yeah.
or is this like I don't even care, I hate you kind of thing? Is this
Yeah.
like a
Well,
teen kind
because if
of
yeah, exactly. Because if he's the one that died and he's not acknowledging it, then this is the thing that, like, what is it like in masks? It's like the labels or whatever, right? It's
yeah,
like the
yeah.
labels that the grown-ups give. So yeah, so something like that. So what is the new persona?
Yeah, maybe like kind of haughty and above it all, right? Like this is like a quick set of changes from fear to hatred to like none of this really matters, right?
Yeah, I think this is like, where you see that flash of fear and frightened child, like as soon as, like, that gore, like animated gore, like, goes across the screen. But as soon as Lucifyre like turns back to you, like, you see this like mask of like just the Metallica lyric is like is now in my head. It's now an earworm. It's like none of this matters, whatever. And that's what you see on Lucifyre's face, and it is, yeah, that's basically what he defiantly says to you. It's like it doesn't matter. You don't matter.
Sapphire, lying to us is part of the game, but lying to yourself
I
is
think I
beneath
said it
you.
was just singing that song. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Just,
Yep, that's awesome.
yeah. Yeah. Sing the song someone wants to sing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's awesome.
One of my moves. Just getting the tokens. Yeah, I think it's your turn, Saoirse.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, really. Come on.
That time, Lucifer performed that heartbreaking opera for us all. I laced the the water that we gave out to the audience so that they would be emotionally impacted by the drivel.
You dare call it drivel when your own prophecy just inspires or encourages the rest of us to be greater than you. Huh. Interesting.
Do we see that light a fire in Lucifer? Or is that one stings and brings him a little bit out, right?
Yeah, I mean, like he kind of like just like like will just turn his head like really slowly and then like say that, and it's kind of like this growl that gets a little bit louder, a little bit more resonant as he says it. It's like, you dare, really, when I know that I reach into the hearts of men, women, children, others, including even you, Saoirse, whether you admit it or not. I help Lycaenid dance, and when Odin was around, I brought jewels to their crown. I didn't need your help. And even as their voice is like quiet, you can feel the intensity build behind it.
You know, I'm just smiling here, I think.
I think it's your turn again, Lucifer, and looks at you like, can you, I mean, this has all been well and good, but can you really hurt me?
Do you ask that, or are
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. I think that's the,
Hmm.
because it gives me a token.
Can I really hurt you?
It's true.
I think Lucifer will stand up and draw themselves up to their full height, and you know, almost like kind of draw brilliance from the screen, which is still running, and like from the color, from the red of this of the velvet, from the color in the chairs, and even from the saturation of the colors in the screen, and kind of draw that into themselves, and then be so bright and so like so intense, when they start singing, and then like still look at you, keep their gaze upon you, Lycaenid, as if like kind of drawing in the power, as if to like to concentrate something on you, like is it getting ready to land a blow.
Mm.
But then as all this power is being drawn in, then they just leave it, they just kind of like keep it around them as this great colorful intense aura that you can barely look at, and they say no, because I am above it all, and I do not care, as he uses his persona to devastating effect.
Oh, yeah, I think I see it kind of cringes away from that light and the thing, and then but still stands, expecting a blow, and when it comes from a very unexpected um, direction, I think they will cry out, I guess, and I'm so I don't know. I think they will look at you with these wounded eyes and say, how can you not care? How can you not care about me? It's not, it's not, I mean, that has to drive me away.
I think there's this smile that grows on his face at your question, and it's not a nice smile.
Mm.
It's a mean smile. It's a smile of, well, spite and malice,
Mm.
as he begins to sing, and it's every acid word heard by critics. It's every biting laugh that you've that has been resounded in a place where you've danced and tripped and fell. It
Mm.
is every hurtful glance that you've ever received from someone that you've cared about, even from Lucifyre. And it is from a place of where people may not know you and still give you that hateful uh, feeling. And he sings of this, creating art from malice and spite.
And I think I've seen it has cowered away from these words, but cannot stand it. At some point, cannot stand it and throws themselves into these critical voices, into what that makes them feel, and they will start dancing, and it's a raw dance. You can see the hurt and the feeling, but it is also is one of the most honest dances you've seen us do. It's yeah, the art is their art reveals their most raw self. Again, it is almost like the reflection from the curtains and the screen from the elk's mouth kind of shows up on their body, almost like they have bleeding wounds from the words. Yet they still dance.
How is Saoirse reacting to all of this?
I think as Lycaenid dances, um, I'm standing behind you and I say, it's interesting to see you like this. No passion, no search for truth, nothing. You're just a hollow vessel, a cold thing. And this is Saoirse creating a new torture
Mm.
for Lucifyre to embrace.
Hmm. Somehow, the song keeps going. I think instead of singing, he will create the beat like he does like a kind of like a stomp clap dance. So the rhythm is continued. But as he's doing this, he will look over his shoulder at you, Saoirse, and say, "Yes, I am empty. Because the child I was so full of life and laughter. And that child has died because they were told. They were told how to be perfect. They were upheld to a standard they could not reach. And the laughter died. And the life was drained out of them. And now this is what's left. Me." As I describe how I hurt the child I used to be. And he finishes the song stop with the 3 claps for you, Lycaenid, and then
Mm.
says, "Your turn."
I think there's needs to catch their breath a little
Mm-hmm.
because that was kind of intense. And they will turn to you and say, "Well, that was something." I think I remember the day when you lost that joy. You lost them. I mean, you're doing this, but even though it inspired me, I can feel that it doesn't mean anything to you. As the song says, it doesn't even matter. How did you lose that, Lucifyre? Can you remember?
And he looks at you, honestly looks at you, and says, "Do I have to? Do I have to remember?"
Yes. Yes, to be, if you don't want to be less than you are, you have to remember.
Can you? He'll hesitate, but then, actually, without looking at you, he'll actually reach out a hand to you, his open palm, and say, "Can you remember for me?"
Mm. I think Lycaenid will hesitate. There's a complicated emotion on their face. Like they 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 feel honored that you would trust them with this, but they also feel like they might mess this up. So I think Lycaenid will reach out the hand to Saoirse and say, "I think we should all remember together." Maybe maybe that makes it easier.
And I think he'll even say, like as he reaches out both hands to both of you, he'll say, "I understand. even if it hurts. Can you remember for me? Because I think he knows, but he doesn't want to say.
Yeah. Oh, oh yeah. I can sing to defy and transform fear, and still struggles to do that. So I think he will. Not he. They will start singing a song about a day where there were clouds in the sky and the light was there was a concrete light, dead light, something that did not inspire, something that did not create hope. And I think I think in this song you can hear Lucifyre's rage at this light, at this place, at these things that are not they're not perfect, that are not helpful. And I think you can hear. I think in the distance you can hear some sort of fight, maybe that is brewing. And it's a defiant song, maybe a raging song. Maybe that will give Lucifyre a little more courage to face what happened.
I think Saoirse will finally reach out to Lucifyre and say, we won't just remember you, we'll still love you.
I think if you both touch his hands at the same time, I think there's some kind of light that comes from within. As tears stream from his eyes, and then there's this like strange colored light, not from any spectrum, that bursts from his eyes and his mouth. And it's a sound that doesn't, you don't hear it as a song, you don't hear it as a scream, you just hear it as something that resonates deep within your forms. I'm not even going to say body, but it's forms. And you feel the shuddering within his form. And he receives a gift from the heaven he left behind. As he immediately drops to his knees, hands and knees, letting go of you both, and pants as if he's been through a race. And there is tears streaming from his eyes, but when he lifts his face to you both, you can see that he's got like a severe nosebleed, like blood is streaming from his nose. And, but there's a smile on his face. There's as if he's at peace. For at least a moment. Before he starts laughing. Ugh. I've come back. I've come back to you. For good or ill, I guess. Don't know how you feel about that.
I'm glad to have you back.
Whose turn is it?
mean, you
So
know, I hate to tell you I told you so.
you don't really suffer.
And Lucifyre just laughs. But he will get up slowly, and he will actually reach out to you both and gather you in a very human embrace, if you
Mm,
let him.
sure. I mean, listen, it will probably cry a little when that happens.
How does Saoirse react?
I mean, I think she accepts that embrace, right? Maybe there's some measure of self-satisfaction, but generally speaking, just kind of happy that this is where we end up.
Hmm. Did you want to take your turn, Saoirse, or do we want to call that the end to the child's game?
That seems like a good place to wrap
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. When the game ends, we each choose one. Add the one of the following to your look. Change your gender to one of the following. Choose or describe an art form, or gain the lure. So, one of the following to your look: a grin I can't hide very well, a song I can't sing by myself, a tattoo of many colors, nostalgia garishly displayed, or evidence of how poorly I played the game.
Mm,
Or change your gender to one of the following: laughter I can't hold in, the intertwining of fingers, a sweet lie, many sharp and small teeth, or something sweet.
mm,
Or choose or describe an art form that you can only create when you don't take yourself too seriously.
mm,
Or gain the lure: when someone describes the glimpse of the child I once was, fleeting or no, they gain a token. Which one of those
mm.
things do you want?
Okay.
I'm. Oh, you can go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go. No, go ahead.
Oh,
I'll talk now.
I want to add a sweet lie to my gender.
Okay.
I think I will. I will, according to your look, evidence of how poorly I played the game.
Oh,
And I think from that last dance when you were hurting me, and I took all these bloody colors. I think it leaves scars. And I think let me check the character. And I think they look a little like some of your tattoos.
okay. I think I'm going to change one of my genders to, let's see, let's change the shift, not, the flickering candlelight to the intertwining of fingers. Awesome.
Nice.
All right, cool. Okay, so do we want to take another break, or do we want to see if we want to do the last one? Could take a shorter break this time, or we could just go through the last one if you the last moment if we want. What do we think?
I think I need a break.
Okay.
This is a little intense, so
Yeah.
yeah.
If like 5 good, or you need 10?
Let's take 10 maybe
Sure.
before we go into the next one.
No problem. All right, let's take
Okay.
10 minutes and then we'll see you then.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. The last moment. Kisses in the dark. In the dark, our bodies melt away, and there is no need to speak. Not for long, not forever. It is this time in the dark that who we are uses heat and desire to shed off skin and inhibition. It is here that our art boils over and becomes passion. Begin kissing in the dark if you want to further entwine your body with your art, if you search for vulnerability and tempt heartbreak. The lure for this is when someone intertwines their fingers with another, fleeting or no, they gain a token. All right, so I will pick where the kisses take place. Well, there's no abandoned choice here, so sorry, we can't
Oh,
continue on
oh
with that trope.
no.
Sorry.
Ah,
uh, um, but if I pick somewhere forbidden, we cannot say abandoned. I don't want to break that. um, hmm. Oh.
I mean,
Uh,
books in a used bookstore have been abandoned, you know.
yeah, true, true.
not abandoned. They've been given up to be
Kind of
shared with
abandoned,
others.
though.
Hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I like the used bookstore idea. So,
Sorry, I
yes.
was just being awkward. You could choose whatever you want.
no, because it's like I like we have them here where there's like a multi-level used bookstore that's just like full of shelves and just like a ton of different books and such. Maybe we find ourselves here. And the reason why it's dark is because we can't see the windows. They're just blocked off by all these
Yeah,
damn shelves.
yeah.
So it could be
Ooh.
daylight. Who the hell knows?
Oh, that reminds me of Heian Y when I was there. They had these massive warehouses filled with used books.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's very difficult to see in certain corners because again, blocked off lights,
Hmm.
even the fluorescent slash LEDs won't cover it because like they don't reach this far into these corners. So, shelves of used bookstore. What can we not say? Oh, that's different. What can we not say? We each choose one. Ooh, I'm gonna pick. Who do you wish I was instead?
Mm.
Go ahead, pick one.
That was at the top of my list.
I know.
I will pick I have to mean something to you.
Mm. I think I will pick We Need to Talk. That's too cool anyway.
Do we want to leave it at 3?
What happens if we do it regardless?
Okay.
No, I mean, what happens if we do the things we're not supposed to do regardless?
Mm.
Because not all of us are very good at rule following, you know, like,
Well,
okay.
fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine. So we need to talk. Okay. Can we
I
not
mean,
say
we
we?
we can obey any rule except that which is forbidden, right? This is our version of the Oscar Wildeism, you know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we cannot say that we need to talk. We cannot say that we have mean something to you, and we cannot say who do you wish I was instead. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it comes up. All right.
I mean,
So,
if we were to get a sneak peek at Ray's notes for uh, this mini game, if I can call it that, then
mhm.
I'm sure it will be the players will do all of these things.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it goes. Alrighty. So yeah, I mean, basically, we find ourselves in this used bookstore. Maybe we're looking for something. Maybe we're not. Maybe we just wandered in here because it looked interesting from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Do do we think we all came in together, or is this somewhere we just go and we happen to meet up, or
I think it would be interesting if this just happens to be the place that we happen to find ourselves, but not at the same. Like we all go at different times, but then we all happenstance to find ourselves here. Yeah.
Or maybe it was happenstance for some and less happenstance for others.
I mean, I knew you
Uh,
were going to be here.
Yeah, of course you did.
of course you did.
And if you had wanted to avoid us, you wouldn't be here. So
That's true. Who gets here first? I
Can
mean,
be
it's
me.
okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
What am I looking for? I think I'm looking for uh sheet music maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good point. I wanted to look for sheet music. Sorry, that was an aside for myself. Um, yeah, yeah. I think I'm looking for sheet music from I don't know. I'm willing to just browse and see what pops, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm feeling restless and a bit lonely, and I don't know, since Odin's not there anymore, and it's a little complicated with Lucifyre, and Saoirse always sees the weirdest things, and I never know how to respond to that. Really, she's snarky. I think I'm looking for sheet music, but now I'm in the psychology section trying to figure out how to talk to people who are well, trying to talk to people. Yeah, I found a book that was like, so you think you're good at conversation or something. And I'm staring at that.
I think, all right, I'm going to create a visitor because we have not really done this.
Ooh, yeah.
So, which X do I remind you of? As
Me?
like, come, yeah. I mean, like,
Oh,
I'm a visitor.
oh,
I'm
okay.
somebody who, like either a passerby or maybe
Oh, yeah.
I'm a worker in this bookstore.
I
Who do I
think
remind you of?
I think you remind me of this person I met at university, who was a poet, I think. And we were together for well, quite a bit, and then he was mad that well, I thought we were in an open relationship, right? Apparently, in his mind, we weren't. So he was accusing me of horrible cheating and breaking his heart. And I said, yeah, well, of course I broke your heart. That's good for your art. And then he didn't understand that. And walked off in a huff. And well, I was only trying to help his art. So it was a show of love, actually. He didn't see it like that.
Hmm. But this is not him though.
No.
And yeah, and, like it's maybe this is a bookstore employee, and
No.
it, he says, "Hi, can I help you find something?"
Liam? Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
you're not.
sorry,
You're
no,
not Liam. Okay,
no,
okay.
uh,
No.
Colin.
Um,
My
Colin,
name's Colin.
yeah, it's also kind of Celtic. I mean, sorry, I'm babbling. No, I think I have this about making good conversation. I feel I'm currently failing at it. So
Mm,
is
just
there is there something that would help me understand a fellow artist?
hmm, that's a good question, and I think he reaches around you, like quite close.
No.
And maybe you smell like a very enticing scent. What is that scent as he reaches around you to grab a couple of different books?
Oh, what is that sound? What kind of sound would entice? Oh, it's. I think it's honey. Yeah, something. I mean, maybe it's some kind of aftershave or cologne or something. But
Mhm. There's an
or
underlying note
maybe
of honey or
or
something.
maybe it's just their own smell, his own smell.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, and like maybe smell it as he like kind of leans past you and like grabs a couple of books. It's like here's one book here, and
Okay.
this is more about like the process, and it's
Mm.
called The Artist's Way. And then
Oh.
this one is about um, the psychology of an actor, and
Oh, okay.
they will talk about the process. And I think maybe if you speak to the process of whatever art you are into, then maybe that's a point of reference for someone else, whatever art they're into, if that's what you're going for.
And that's
I'm,
what I'm going for, really. Yes, I'm a dancer.
oh, that's kind of cool. So
Yeah, okay.
movement's your art then.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I lean in a little closer because I'm really, really into that smell. And I will say, this might be too personal, but has anybody told you you smell like honey?
And he has a really beautiful smile. Um, as he kind of like just kind of like smiles shyly and leans on the bookshelf, and then says, "No, but thanks." And
You do.
you you smell nice too.
Thank you.
And
I'm on my CD. I see this. I see this. The character can pronounce that one.
oh, I'm Colin.
Yeah, I know. You said, uh, I'm nice. Well, do you, um, I mean, uh, this is a large bookstore. Do you want to go maybe into the shelves a little? I can show you a bit of my dance. Would you be interested in that?
uh, yeah, sure. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and just so you know, I mean, like we were conversing just now, so I mean, you're not that bad at it.
Okay.
If you say more than, I mean, like, and as he's saying these words, like he kind of like leans in a little bit closer and closer, and
Mm-hmm.
says, "So long as it's more than one word answers, then you're having a conversation."
Good. Oh, that was a one word answer. Let's go. And I am more expressive when I dance than when I talk.
Okay, all right,
And maybe and I see Ned leans in a little and says, maybe we can dance together.
sure. I mean, I can show you a spot where there's like more room, maybe, where they
Mm-hmm.
have like reading tables.
Yeah,
We can,
tables is good.
yeah. And I think as he kind of shows you where the reading tables are, maybe we float over to where
Mm-hmm.
Saoirse is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think now, mind you, this is a multi-level bookstore, used bookstore, so um, which floor do you think that you're on, Saoirse?
Um, I mean, multi-level, but also like understaffed. So maybe it's like Colin and maybe just someone else, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Here, right?
Yeah.
And I think I come in and I'm like going downstairs, and I think Saoirse calls out, like, Colin, I'm just going downstairs to the basement, just so you know. And I don't know, maybe Colin's not at his usual desk, so she figures he's in the
Yeah.
stacks.
Right.
Um, and I think she goes behind one of the sales desks and like roots around for one. I think this is like old school, so they have like a ledger book that they
Mm-hmm.
keep all record of sales in it,
Mm-hmm.
and like she's like flicking back to see, what's been sold, or is the book that she is kind of using this place as a library for still there without having to go all the way to the shelf.
Right. And I think maybe behind you, you hear, "Who's the best kisser you ever knew?"
Excuse me.
Who's the best kisser you ever knew?
Sorry, is this out of character, or is this like someone asking
Someone
Saoirse?
asking. Someone
Okay.
asking Saoirse. Yeah.
So who is it?
This is someone who is dressed kind of like wood goth, I guess. It's like, kind of like in the like a velvety hood, like a velvet hoodie that kind of trails on the floor and stuff like that. But I mean, like definitely of this time, but I mean like kind of like dresses that way just cuz stuff, and then she just kind of turns to you and just like seems to have a book, like a different book in her hand and such. Just asking, who's the best kisser you ever knew?
Oh, um, there was this person who was, low key, a great kisser. Um, no matter how snaky or sneaky, I would always make time for them
Why? What was entrancing enough to make time for them?
because they were the best kisser I ever knew. I mean, call me shallow. Hmm.
Hmm.
But also, we had some schemes, so
So you would
hurtful
find
schemes.
so you would
But
find
fun.
time for scheming and kissing.
Yes.
Sounds like
How
a good
about you?
plan. If I had to take a poll, hmm, probably someone who wanted to actually see me and only me, and actually not be afraid to make gestures of connection first and then the kiss. Because then the kiss would mean the culmination of the connection. They were great. They were tender and passionate and very, very hot. I'm Melisande, by the way. You are?
Mm, reticent. But you can call me Saoirse.
Nice to meet you, Saoirse. Just looking around for some, I don't know, some romance to keep the fires stoked at night, I guess.
You still talking about kissing, or are you talking about books?
I don't know. I was only looking for books, but
Looking for books in all the wrong places. No, that's something else, right?
I think in this place I'm looking for books in the right places, but as for something else, I don't know. What do you think?
I think you've got to be careful what you're looking for. You mean, sometimes people who just want passion are like moths to a flame.
That's true. That's very true. But passion's a little bit different than, say, love. So long as you know what you're looking for, you're going to find it. You just have to know what you want. Can I help you find something, Saoirse?
Do you work here?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I don't work here. I am just behind the desk because I'm looking for a specific book. I'm not really interested in the book. as such, more like the marginalia.
Well, I've got
You know,
time on my hands.
it's not like who you are, it's what you say about the world.
Hmm.
I have very strange tastes. I mean, when it comes to books, at least.
And what are your tastes like for other things?
Even stranger.
Hmm. Well, you can find all sorts of strange things around here as she looks around, and you get a flash of something that is not quite human when she looks around in her eyes.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and I think I'll wander down the stacks, and I think those lights are flickering, right? And I
Hmm.
think that that weak illusion like almost flickers out in tandem with those lights. Do you want to see where Lucifyre is?
Hmm. Yeah, I think maybe as you are going down the stacks, and then maybe I don't know where Lycaenid and Colin went. Maybe we get a flash of darkened space over by the tables on that particular floor, but I think Lucifyre's on a floor that Saoirse's headed to, and he's looking for. He's actually perusing some of the romances. He's actually kind of muttering to himself as he's trying to read through the skim some of the books for the words, for lyrics, specific words that people are using for the romances. And if you come upon him, Saoirse, you can see him being surrounded by these paperbacks or trades or some hardcovers with all different periods, and he's just kind of muttering to himself and looking a little bit worried as he's saying and looking up at you and saying, they have so much language for how it feels for their hearts to be broken or getting ready to break, or how much it hurts. And they're not saying anything at all.
Lucy? I don't know what to say, but and I think Saoirse reaches over to a shelf and pulls out a kind of freshly printed piece of poetry, or maybe a play. Maybe it's a play she has recently published about the human condition.
Mm.
And I think perhaps uh, I think this is, I mean, I guess the actual creation of this art has happened before, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll use that art move, create art from a place of desire,
Yeah, fine.
maybe speaking to like becoming more human or being satisfied with your lot, and hands it over.
What's this? Wait, is this. Did you do this? And he starts to read.
Don't embarrass me more than you usually do.
Hmm. And as he's reading, I mean, you just see all sorts of emotions go across his face. And he starts to look at you, and he starts to sing. And He talks about, or he sings about, something beyond, someone beyond form, someone beyond body, but connecting by soul. But it's not soul for some such as us. So he's trying to connect to that particular sense or concept of us, I suppose. And he's describing what you wrote about, and how much he yearns for it. And those eyes are holding you fast in your place as he steps closer to you. And the song is not that loud. I mean, it's like almost a whispered ballad, but it's so resonant. It's like a caress. And it's revealing who he yearns for. And then he asks you, or, this is asked, and maybe it happens if you want. Where do you kiss me for the longest time? And this could be conceptual if you don't want to make it physical. So,
Um, yeah, I think if Lucifyre is still like sitting like in that, I don't know if they stood up when they were singing or whether they're still surrounded by crazy stacks of books as they conducted their search. Um, but I kind of stoop down to embrace you, and I don't think I kiss you on the throat, and I think you feel a tear coming from my empty eye socket. Why do you pull away? I want to ask.
I pull away to look at you, and I think I will set aside my truth that the most monstrous version of you is the most beautiful one. I consider this the most beautiful one right now. The part of you that's in the version of you in front of me. And I will clasp your hand. Well, I will draw you to me for one, but then I will also reach out with my one hand and clasp your face, but I will also gently caress your temple and cover and kind of caress around that eye socket where you had stabbed your eye, truly seeing you in the form that you're in now as I reach out to you.
I think I'll take your hand where it's in my face, and I guess I'm like maybe pulling your hand away gently, maybe intertwining our fingers together, and I shake my head and I say, I can't.
I, I and I almost say what I cannot, but instead I will gently give you kisses where you'll let me. Maybe your cheeks, maybe your lips if you're close enough. Maybe your hand that's entwined with mine. But I won't force it because I'm trying to let the connection say what I can't. And we cut over to Lycaenid. What do you show Colin exactly as he kind of moves like a table or two to clear some space for you? Or do you show him anything at all and do you just draw him in to something?
Yeah, I think it will set up some sort of musical device, probably a Walkman or something, right? So that, and since it's kind of Bluetooth, they can both listen to it. Um, so that, I mean, this is a bookstore and you can't really blast songs. I think it has learned this from experience, I think, to not blast music here. And then I think they will convert with Colin what kind of song he would like them to dance to.
Oh, you just show me what you. Show me how you'd like to connect as he
Mm,
intertwines his fingers with yours.
I, hmm, okay, I have this songs from a sibling, let's say, of mine, and I think it's one of Lucifyre's songs of, I don't know, songs of failing, wanting, reaching for connection, but kind of failing to grasp what is there. Kind of this tension that you want this, but you'd have to overexpose yourself, right, to get it. And it's this kind of insecurity and vulnerability of that moment. I think people say, well, that's what I got, and then they will put it up and we'll start I think they will start dancing, but as they dance, I think the song will overwhelm them, because I think it's kind of easy to get lost in as far as music and the emotion of wanting to connect but never really want to let go that part that you need to connect. um, And I think, oh, I got to ask him actually, how does the song overwhelm me?
Ooh. You ask Colin like how it overwhelms him?
How it overwhelms me.
Oh, how it overwhelms
And
you.
and I don't know if I'm asking Colin or if I'm asking the player
Um,
here.
how it overwhelms you, huh? Well, I think, like, hmm, observing you, I think maybe he sees, like, there's a wilder look in your eye. Like, maybe you start whirling around a little bit faster, a little bit more um, frenzied than the music would, like, from what he hears would entail.
Mm.
And then he kind of wonders as you kind of like spiral up. And I mean, maybe, maybe like a little bit of the magic of the moon ritual, like somehow, even though the moon's not here, it kind of like touches you in the little bit of lunacy and you float and he sees it. And then
Oh,
you just as immediately spiral down and drop. And he goes, "Are you all right? You look, you look like you weren't quite here for a second. Like you were floating."
I think I seen it currently is not actually capable of words as that. So they will just, they've dropped, so they're crouched a little from the landing. and stare at the floor, trying to recapture that moment somehow. But also they reach out with one hand, like if
He'll hold. Yeah, he'll clasp. He'll clasp your hand.
and then yeah, I think they just hold on this hand like a drowning person a little, and then finally I think they will draw. Whoopsie, sorry. They will draw Colin down um and then they mutter. They're still not looking at Colin, but they will mutter, "Do you think? Will you share this with me? Could devour you. So careful what you want."
And he will come closer. Tell me what you need.
Will you to trust me? Can you do that?
Sorry, it's like it's a little bit soft. What?
Oh, sorry. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? And Lycaenid will reach out their hand and gently touch Khan's face, like exploring with her fingers a little.
His mouth is slightly open, and he's looking at you with, you know, with an open gaze. So seems to be willing.
Yeah. Okay, so I will, I think, create art from a place of desire. Or no, describe what your art. No, create art from a place of desire. So I think Lycaenid will reach out, touch his face, and then wrap themselves around him a little, around his body. And then I think starts kissing him, like gently, just like these little pecks, I guess, more like. And when the camera pans out between their faces, they're hanging in midair, and the wings are fully unfurled. And there is some music that you could almost hear, but it's not loud. But it's some kind of music that is more in the realm of imagination or possibility, and not quite in the physical world. As they just
I think without even realizing it, I think the singing that Lucifyre was doing on his floor with Saoirse, it's permeating into the reality where you are
yes,
floating with Colin. And
yes,
that's
that's
what you're
perfect.
hearing.
That's perfect. Yes.
Right. So
Right.
you are all suspended in that particular moment through that
Oh, I
song.
love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can, if we like, we can close that particular moment on that.
That makes sense.
So just to complete the moment, when the kissing ends, we each choose one. Add one of the following to your look, change your gender to one of the following, choose or describe an art form, or gain the lure. Add one of the following to your look: a collection of visible bite marks, the feel of your hands on my body, a bright red tattoo that draws every eye, a color you said would look good on me, proof of unspoken love. Or change your gender to one of the following: crying into cereal at midnight, an unexpected bite, a secret that changes shape, beloved and true, or something lost. Or choose or describe an art form that you can only create after you kiss someone and mean it. Or gain the lure: when someone kisses me, fleeting or no, they gain a token.
Mm. Mm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that lure is all me. Appreciate to complete.
Tempted as I am by crying into cereal at midnight, I will take the look. of unspoken love.
Okay.
Mhm. I think I will change my gender to something lost. And what's lost and what will always be lost is the first moment when you kiss someone, the first moment when you feel that connection, because it will never be as powerful or as intoxicating as at the start, right? And that's my gender now, and I will. To what will I change my pronouns though? I think I'm going back to she, her,
Okay.
to full circle.
That's, yeah, so true. Mm. And those are the moments of heaven is here if you want it. So let's close out with some stars and wishes if you've got some time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stars are things that you liked about gameplay, roleplay each other, and, well, wishes since we finished our two shot, you know, things that you, well, would like to see for another time if you're going to play this game again, like, you know, if you wanted to play a different playbook or what have you, but whatever you want to say. So,
Yeah, I could give stars. I mean that I love both those chapters. I love the chapter we did when we had to get Lucifyre to accept that she's dead or they're dead or he's dead. I think they were they back then. And I also like the I especially like when Lucifyre was hurting Lycaenid. That was kind of awesome and also very inspiring if you're a massive artist. And I always like Saoirse's deadpan prophecies. Like this is going to happen, you know? That was I really love that kind of yeah, okay. Just this matter of factness about the whole, yeah, I'm making a prophecy now. It's this is what's going to happen. And yeah, I still don't know how to describe this game exactly. What we actually do there, but it's good. It's emotional. It's all, as somebody said, it's all vibes, but it does that masterfully well. So yeah.
I have to star Donogh with with Saoirse's. It's like I don't want to say I told you so, but it's like it just fits and it just fits and I love it. But yeah, I mean like the yeah, definitely starred for Saoirse's deadpan like prophecies, but the imagery of Saoirse turning into the more monstrous self against the cinema screen, and then the elk moving and then chasing after Squeaky was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I could totally visualize that thing, and it was absolutely mwah, mwah, mwah. Stars. So that was wonderful. And then they seen it with the um, floating picture of trying to the changing of the butterfly wings into the more forestry imagery, and then coming down, and then just feeling like I could feel that kind of like that come down. I don't know, disappointment, I don't know, slight despair. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but again, all vibes. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's very hard to describe this daggone game, but I love it every single time. And once I start getting into it and then starting feeling more comfortable with like reacting and acting and just using the moves, I mean, it just feels like such a flow. And I really, really do enjoy this game no matter how many times I play it. So, yeah, love it. Stars to you both, for sure. And you know, I'm sorry that we missed Shane and
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
the expected star turn of being the king, but damn, it would have been awesome
Mm-hmm.
to see all
Yeah.
through these moments as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have gotten away with my Odinifying self mutilation if Shane had been here. That would have been
True,
too on the
true.
nose of stealing his position.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I guess stars for this kind of strange, like, unveiling of our character's kind of true nature. Uh, Sometimes, like, very literal in terms of like these new forms, but sometimes just kind of going on this emotional journey with them. But also on the flip side, like I love this scene where we saw like Lucifyre being this like sullen teenage self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I hate you. None of this matters. I wish you were dead, kind of stuff. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I guess I love the vibes, as everyone has said. Like I mean, this is just an ad lib pick list game, really, when it comes down to it, and that is amazing. And I know Ray is very busy, but if there is time to create some new moments, like, um, I'm sure there's some discarded versions that didn't make this. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so
and
yeah,
if
I would love to see more, but yeah.
yeah, no, for
Maybe we should
definite
have
sure.
a jam of
Oh,
belonging outside of a belonging setting slash moment, you know.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd
I,
be an
I love
interesting one.
the I love those moments because they give you so much to work with. A lot of BOB games are like, yeah, here's your characters, here are your moves, go and do a thing.
Do a
But
thing.
here it's like there's chapters. You can play these, and they will tell you where you are and what's actually going on, or what the scene is supposed to be about.
Right, right. But I mean, like this is very like it's very esoteric, and I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of fits because I mean, like it can
yeah.
be sunk into the mundane if you want it to, but
Mm-hmm.
yet it can also be very magical. I mean, it is what the game says, a magical
Mm-hmm.
and mundane or mundanely magical and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, like I just feel like we went beyond that, in this particular session, and I really enjoy that part because I feel like these characters do go beyond um, that, that particular human shell. But that's
Mm-hmm.
why the art moves are costing more than the human
Mm-hmm.
moves because if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna take big swings and like make your art, you better damn well, spend and sacrifice for it. So I mean, like that's
Yeah.
what I really enjoy about this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not a one for one. It's like a you gotta earn it. So I love
Yeah.
it definitely. So um, yeah, thank you so much for joining me for this table. I mean, like I appreciate it, and I mean, like I wish Shane could have joined us
Mm-hmm.
for the completion of it, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, hopefully
Yeah.
we'll catch Shane at another iteration of this at some point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but very glad that got to do all of the moments that exist for right now in the game. So,
Yeah.
with your permission, I would like to edit and post on my channel. So,
Sure. Go ahead.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful week. Happy gaming to you both. And
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
see
you.
you for yet another game, I'm sure, soon.
You probably.
Probably. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you so
Okay.
much. All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.